Hey Andy, how are you, my friend?
Good joy. That's like,
Great, great. Good to see you. It's been too long.
yeah. The last time actually you came to Dubai, you came very quickly, I remember.
Yeah, yep. Hopefully we get out to Dubai later this year again. And I'm catching you right in the middle of the move, so I appreciate your time. But Andy, let's just jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up and how that's shaped you to who you are today.
Well, despite the first and the last name, I'm still French, as you can hear. So that's for that. So listen, my life, I would say, listen, I was born in France, but we left Europe. I was 10 and I never went back. So where I'm from, it's a bit difficult to say because the roots, I would say, definitely would be Corsica in France.
Hmm.
But I lived in Asia for like 2 or 3 years, Middle East for about what, 30, US, for close to 6 years plus. I was also in Central America for a while. So,
Wow.
I would say as long as there's sunshine and palm trees, that's where I feel comfortable and a nice, I could count
Yeah,
myself lucky.
that's awesome. I didn't know you were in South America. You've been all over the place. In Corsica. So Corsica is an island in the Mediterranean, is that right?
Correct. So south of Nice, the only thing famous about that island is Napoleon. I think they left after that. But it's a beautiful island. Honestly speaking, of all the places I've been to in the world, it's really one of the top five. And not because I'm from there or anything, but just it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's still on the bucket list for you guys to come and visit us.
Yeah, absolutely. How often do you go back to Corsica?
So, when the grandmas were alive and the rest of the family, I would say almost yearly. But
Hmm.
now it's like there, I'm actually going there this summer. So usually every 2 years, I would say 2 to 3 years, we go back and
Wow.
visit all the
I would,
all the
I would,
family.
I would love for us to come and join you guys and go to Corsica. That'd be great. Well, so you were there as a youngster. What childhood memory or tradition do you still have that influences you today?
So it's kind of awkward because one thing I don't know if you remember from my folks, but they're actually called Blackfeet. So
Mm.
all my family are what's called Blackfeet. So you're basically talking about the French people, that were born in the colonies in northern Africa,
Mhm.
and but most of them were half of them were French, the other half were like pretty much Spanish, Italian. So it's not like you've got deeply French roots, but we're very, very Mediterranean.
Hmm.
Family is extremely important, probably because, of course, when the war independence kicked in, my folks had to leave and they settled in Corsica. And so, family is extremely important. I mean, we're very close. And I think also the fact that we had to live abroad for so many years as well makes us that, we're extremely close to our parents, cousins, and so forth. I'm lucky because in Dubai now, my parents live are semi-retired there. They live with us, and also I got my sister as well. My uncle and my aunt also from Los Angeles moved back here with us. So there's some strong roots, I would say.
Wow, that's great. So all the chaos has just brought your family close together. Um,
Absolutely.
and your parents are wonderful. We got connected in the Emirates from church, and your parents were like the original members of our church there in the Dubai, Abu Dhabi area.
Correct. Yeah, they were. I think we landed there like 40 years ago. I think close by. So they're like the oldest, I think, in the crowd now. And we can't wait for the temple to be open. I think that would be a nice one to see. So everybody's praying for that one.
Yeah, for sure. And that's on the expo site, right?
Expo, and I think also there's rumors also in Abu Dhabi as well. I think a lot of things are. It's a very, I would say, boring at the moment. So
Mm.
let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah. Well, good luck to all the red tape there. Um, well, okay, so Andy, so you've been in the Emirates for a long time. We've known each other since about 2017 or so. What's been a challenge for you or your family that you've had in that time frame that's ended up being something you were really grateful that you went through?
Well, it's crazy as it's gonna be. I think Claire's health issue was by far. I mean, the most difficult challenge I've ever faced in my life, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when she was diagnosed with this brain tumor and this and that, I mean, I was just completely taken back.
Yeah.
Uh, and she was not a member.
Hmm.
So, but I think it was an amazing spiritual awakening for her, and for me, just to also be re-energized, I would say, and discover what really faith is all about. I think when you've got family members or people which you're very close by, friends and so forth, that are facing some, I would say, personal trials and challenges, for example, especially on the health side. I mean, it really puts everything into perspective. Uh,
Yeah.
and I think with that, with Claire, to see those incredible miracles I went through in her life, I mean, she had an amazing amount of faith, and I was just astounded. So I would say it also opened up my own eyes. I
Yeah.
mean, the best thing about it, of course, is like, that cancer was cured, but the sequences of events that happened from the diagnosis to the neurosurgeon to,
Yeah.
and it was just incredible. And we had so many, I would say, crazy stories regarding this that just you see God's hand in it. So sometimes you just have to accept and then realize afterward that you're better off, which is I think was her case because she was diagnosed early
Hmm.
and she was well taken care of, and we were blessed with that.
Wow. I appreciate you sharing that. And we love Claire. She's awesome. And I mean, I can't imagine what you guys went through, but I love hearing how that brought you guys closer together and gave you new perspective on life.
Well, absolutely. I think, look, obviously, if you love your partner and your companion and your loved ones, you want to protect them. The thing for me was the hardest is humility, right? I mean,
Mm.
there are certain things that you suddenly realize that you're not in control anymore at all. I mean, from the language to the process to of course the operation, the surgeries, I mean, you're just a bystander, which was I think more challenging for me than anything else.
Yeah.
But to see also Claire just knowing that look, everything was going to be okay,
Yeah.
and that's remarkable. I think you want that in your life, so
Ah,
and you
absolutely.
want good outcome. I
Yeah.
think that's also the best, right? The
Ah,
comeback story.
well, and a little bit of being fearless, when you've had literally a near-death experience, you're unstoppable after that.
Absolutely. I mean, when she got also diagnosed with a second one for breast cancer afterward, I can tell you for it, it was just a piece of cake. She was like, "Look, I've already been to much worse.
Yeah.
This one is nothing, right?" And
Yeah.
what's remarkable now is because I mean, she works for this company called Estée Lauder, right? Which I
Yeah.
think they're big sponsors in breast cancer. They're making her like women's champion to for the cause, and
Cool.
she's so engaged about it, and because it's all about early diagnosis.
Yeah.
And she can just explain to women that look, don't worry about it. If you detect it early, everything will be fine, and you will have some amazing odds. It's one of the best cancers to have and be treated to if you have. So honestly speaking, it's I think it prepared her for whatever comes afterward.
Yeah. That's great. And for sure with Estee Lauder, if you need beauty tips and makeup and whatever, you go to Andy's wife, Claire. She's got it.
She'd be able to sort you out for sure.
Now,
Yeah.
Claire's French as well. So tell me something that's unique about your French culture that you guys are really proud of.
I mean, listen, Easter tradition is very big in France, right? I
Yeah.
think it's probably Catholic upbringing and so forth. You have to eat lamb, on Sunday. You need to make sure that Friday there's no meat. I mean, so she brought in, of course, all those customs and tradition in her house,
Mm.
in our house. That is, of course, very important. I think actually Easter is as important, if not more, sometimes even than Christmas, which is kind of remarkable, right? I know that in US Thanksgiving is huge because
Yeah.
it's because of the cultural context and everything else that happened. But I would say for the French people, I think Easter is actually, funny enough, by far the most spiritual holidays.
Yeah.
Christmas tends to be much more commercial with Santa Claus and everything else. You tend to forget about Christ, but on Easter, it's that Catholic heritage and upbringing.
Yeah. Yeah. We've really tried to put emphasis on that in our house. Actually, my wife's doing a big Easter thing for the primary right now today, because Good Friday is tomorrow. But it is funny how commercialized both Easter and Christmas are. But Easter to us used to just be, oh, it's Easter Sunday, and the Easter bunny, Easter egg hunt, all that, and then talk about Jesus a little bit. And then Christmas seemed to have like at least a month long process. So now we've tried to shift that to where, hey, let's give each of them a month and what's the reason for, the season. And so as Christians, we're trying to do that. And um, I've noticed a difference. So yeah, happy Easter to your family and all the French people out there.
You too, my friend.
Um, what's a local dish or drink or dessert that everybody needs to try from France? I mean, we all know about croissants and everything, but like, what's something French that people don't know about that they should try?
Well, obviously we don't drink wine, so we're not going to be able to give you any tips on that one.
Yeah.
But I would say the cassoulet is, I think, something very traditional. I mean, there's two things, right? France, you could either say from a culinary point of view, if you go north, you tend to be more German, so the sauerkraut.
Mm,
But if you really want to go from the south type of food, I mean, I would say cassoulet is one of the best, in terms of those beans and duck and
mm,
confit canard. I would say it's really remarkable. So this would be one of the things I would definitely try. Plus, I mean, duck always is amazing.
mm,
And of course, if you enjoy and try to be a bit more adventurous, a bit of foie gras is always good.
mm. Well, we'll add that to what we need to try when we visit you in Corsica.
Absolutely, man. No, no, for sure.
Where's the your most favorite place that you've traveled? You've been all over the place. Where's your favorite place and why?
I got to be honest. So Corsica is honestly, I mean, you once you try those beaches, you realize that they're amazing. But I would say otherwise, I was in Cape Town, and I got to say, that's remarkable as well. I
Hmm.
mean, they got some amazing location landscape on the sea over there. The sun is super strong. It's like Australia. I think if you go outside for more than half an hour, you roast.
Yeah.
But I mean, the landscape and the food. I mean, they got amazing seafood over there, amazing meat. It's South Africa, right? So,
Yeah.
and it still feels a bit untouched. I don't
Yeah.
know how to describe it. It was really an amazing place.
That's awesome. I need to go there. That's been on my bucket list. I want to go see those great whites off you know,
Of the coast
wherever that
of
is. South Africa.
yeah.
They're there. I've had a lot of South African dishes. Actually, one of my favorite restaurants is there in Dubai. Just the butcher shop, just the South African style steaks, and that's good.
They got some incredible. I mean, if you like meat, I mean, but even seafood, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they got like some incredible seafood over there. So, but the quality of the price that you get, I mean, I would say it's really spectacular.
Hmm.
Plus, I mean, you get to see monkeys in pine trees. I mean, where do you see that
Yeah, yeah.
in the world?
Fascinating. What's something about the again, not to focus too much on France, but what's something about that culture that is misunderstood that you wish most people or more people knew?
I mean, look, I know that if you look at all the, I mean, I think the problem is like France is not Paris, and I
Hmm.
think most of the time people when they go to France are going to go to Paris. It's the capital. I mean, there's plenty of artsy things to see, but I think if you go in the south of France or if you go to the Palais de la Loire, you'll get to see different side of France where the French people are going to be much more, I would say, at least warmer and
Yeah.
much more customer friendly if not user friendly. The thing is like when you go to Paris, everybody feels rushed and so forth and stressed. So you may not actually get the real picture. But if you go in the south of France from the Toulouse side or Nice, for example, and Saint-Tropez, I mean, those places, people will be much more chilled, relaxed.
Yeah.
You'll have a much better conversation. People take the time, and you have to, it's one thing as well. Lunchtime is important. You
Hmm.
need to take an hour for lunch because you will have a 3 to 4 course meal, whatever small restaurants you're gonna have, and that's how it is. You and it guess it's good food, so it's a good thing, right? You
Yeah.
want to be able to catch up with your friends, your family, and so forth. So French people do take the time to have lunch. They don't rush it, and you shouldn't as well. So that would be my tip, and try to get out of Paris
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
quickly as possible just because you'll get to a different feel for the country than you can imagine.
Sure. Well, we've been to Paris, but we need to go see France now. So
Exactly.
that's
Like
good
Emily
advice.
in Paris, you got to try something else as well.
Yep. Yep. Um, what about in the Emirates too? You've been in the Emirates for so long. What's something that you feel is misunderstood about Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
I think, look, I think what you see about the Middle East constantly, the problems in certain regions are nothing to do with what happens in the UAE or even Saudi Arabia for that matter, right? And it's a different world. And I think, there's just not one Arab nation. There are some very different landscape, even seasons. Now,
Hmm.
if you're living in the Gulf and you get a chance to live in Dubai or Abu Dhabi and so forth, I mean, they're incredibly tolerant. I
Hmm.
mean, you can leave your religion. What I like about it is like, there is an emphasis on God. People care about it. And they respect their religious leaders, they respect their politicians and their rulers, and it works. I think it's incredibly safe.
Hmm.
I feel more safe in the UAE for raising my family than I would in other location in the world,
Sure.
including my home country, right? So it's and you don't think about it, right? Because whatever you see sometime on CNN or BBC might be a bit different. So
Yeah.
I think the Middle East and especially the Gulf countries, the rulers are doing an incredible job. It's all about family, safety and giving the right education to our children, and I think it works. So it's a good motto.
Yeah. That's good perspective. I always felt more comfortable giving my sons, some money to go get milk, just go down to the grocery store and get it and come back. Could be in the middle of the night and I wouldn't think twice. But here in Vegas, no way. I wouldn't do that.
I mean, listen, Claire can go out till 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to worry. I mean, we
Yeah.
leave our cars open. Most of the time, the houses are open.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a sense that, the government is, watching and making sure that we're all staying safe. And
Yeah.
it's not something that you think about, the Middle East that comes to mind because, I mean, again, it's 15 countries. There's so many places.
Yeah.
But at least in the Gulf and Dubai and UAE, they've done an amazing job in the UAE to keep everyone giving a good quality life and super safe.
Well, you've picked a good home. Andy, who's been a major influence in your life and why?
I think, listen, my father for sure. I mean, my parents, just because of their, bringing. They were in Morocco, Nigeria, both of them. They were coming from wealthy families. They lost everything when independence kicked in.
Hmm.
It's a bit like the Jewish stories that you hear back in Europe when World War II kicked in. That's exactly what happened to both of my families from my dad's side and my mom's side. And they told us, that look, you just need to work hard, keep your head down, and be grateful for whatever you have, for
Yeah.
as little or as much as you're going to have, because things can change and they will. And I think those that are capable of succeeding are capable of, staying grateful and grounded when things maybe don't go your way.
Yeah.
And that's what they taught me. And I think I'm trying to just instill that in my children now. That's what I'm responsibility.
Yeah. That's the hard part. Well, your father's great. Your parents are great. So,
I think listen, Joey. I think we come from good homes, right? When you have parents which have been brought up with some good spiritual background and church, whichever faith it can be. I mean, I'm not here to discuss one versus the other, but I
mhm,
think when you have families which have a good faith and a strong background and so forth, it helps. It
mhm,
puts you on the right rails.
for
And I
sure.
think with mine, I was lucky enough because I mean, okay, I was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ, so that was great. And it had values and merit.
Mm. Well
Kept
said.
me safe. I can tell you
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I'm out of trouble for many, many years.
If you could go back many years, if you could go back 10 years and give yourself some advice, what would it be?
Enjoy the ride of parenting.
No, the no sleep, right?
Exactly. The no sleep. Enjoy as much as you can before, because afterwards it will be different lifestyle.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I think it's great. You guys put so much focus into your kiddos, and we try to do the same, but I feel like that's just, I feel like the day I figure it out is the day they're all moved out, probably. So maybe that's the point.
Exactly. Or you tend to forget whatever you've done and then you become a grandparent and then it's like, hey, everything is fine. We
Yeah.
did it, just like everybody else does it.
Yes. Well, good luck to us.
Yeah.
Um, what's something unique or something funny about you that most people don't know about?
Funny or unique? Well, I've never paid taxes. How about that? And
We're all
I'm very
jealous.
proud.
You picked a good place
So,
to live.
yes, and I thank my government for that. But yes, that's one thing which, feels good to have a full paycheck. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good causes.
for sure. What's something you're very grateful for right now?
Well, for sure, Claire's health. I mean, when you get to keep your wife and a mother, I mean, there's nothing else more important, right?
Hmm.
She's the cement of the family. She's the foundation. I mean, she's my everything, right? Just like was it Barry White used to say.
Yeah,
So just to keep your loved one safe and around you, I think it's a blessing. The rest, money can come. Stock markets go up or down. Stock market crash, they go back up. And on that one, you just having the right companion. I think that's the key.
yeah. Amen. Well,
Mhm.
Andy, this has been awesome. I really appreciate your time and your friendship. A couple quick fire questions to end. What do you prefer, mountains or beach?
Beach for sure. I've
Beach.
spent most of my life around the beach. Utah was beautiful when I was in Salt Lake City, so don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But I mean, those winters and oh my gosh, the cold. There's nothing more like flip flops and shorts and t-shirts, right? I mean, it's amazing adventure.
yeah. I think I agree with you. I like both, but yeah, give me warm weather over cold weather all day. What's a book or a movie that you love and recommend for everybody?
Who moved my cheese? I think it's an amazing book. Probably because it's a mouse and cheese and French. I don't know, but it it resonates to us quite a bit.
Yeah.
So that's another good one to ponder on. And a book and a movie that just um, can't think of one right now on the top of my head.
Hmm.
That would have been, to be fair with you, I think with the kids, you tend just to go and focus on making sure everybody's put in bed, that homework has been done and things, the chores have been happening.
Yeah, I agree. Well, how can people connect with you? Uh, Instagram or what's best?
LinkedIn for sure, and
LinkedIn?
Facebook because we started that 25 years ago, and that's the best way for me just to see in the case what's going on with my friends. So
Cool. Well,
definitely.
I'll put that in the notes. So go connect with Andy on LinkedIn or Facebook. Well, it's been awesome, my friend. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
You take care, my friend. Say hi to Sharon and the kids, and good luck.
Likewise.
Enjoy
Thank
Vegas for
you.
us. Bye.
Bye.